vanished without warning. It was supposed to be a routine check, just another maintenance crew heading into the bowels of the Ridgeway hydroelectric plant, a crumbling industrial relic tucked away in the fog-choked hills of rural Oregon. But within minutes of their descent, something went horribly, inexplicably wrong. One man entered the lower shaft and was never seen again. No alarms, no screams, just silence. Officials quickly blamed a tragic misstep, said he slipped, drowned, maybe crushed. Case closed. But here's the problem. None of it adds up. The body was never recovered. Surveillance footage was mysteriously corrupted. And the only witness? Transferred out and sworn to secrecy. What if the truth isn't just more complicated, but actively buried? At the center of this mystery stands a private firm contracted to modernize the plant, power conglomerate Black Ridge Energy. For over a decade, Black Ridge has blocked access, halted investigations, and silenced whistleblowers. Every question leads to more deflection. Every request hits a wall, and the deeper you dig, the darker it gets. Could the plant be hiding something far more dangerous than faulty infrastructure? Maybe even not entirely man-made? Tonight, we'll trace the evidence they don't want you to see: missing blueprints, unexplained seismic readings, and workers too afraid to talk. Because sometimes the real danger isn't what's broken underground, it's who's keeping it that way. Built by whom? When we picture ancient China, we often think of jade emperors, dragon myths, and the sprawling Great Wall. But hidden deep in the forests of Xiangyang stands a monument far older and far stranger than anything in the history books: the star platform of Shenong. According to official records, this massive stone structure was built around 1200 BC as a ceremonial altar. Constructed by primitive laborers using crude stone tools, it was meant to honor the mythical divine farmer. But here's where things get weird. The more you examine this monument, the more this story begins to fall apart. Despite its historical importance, there are no clear inscriptions, no ancient scrolls, no documented records of its construction. And even more mysteriously, the platform is aligned perfectly with key astronomical points, so precisely, in fact, that modern engineers struggle to match it today. Some of the megalithic stones, weighing up to 60 tons, show signs of being shaped and drilled with an accuracy that should have been impossible for the time. Engineer Fei Long noted near microscopic spiral cuts in several stone blocks, features that would require advanced tools, possibly even technology we no longer understand. Attempts to recreate these carvings using replicated ancient tools have failed repeatedly, with modern equipment overheating or snapping after mere inches of progress. If this altar was built using nothing more than stone and willpower, how do we explain these anomalies? And perhaps more importantly, why has the Chinese archaeological establishment, led by director Qiao Zhang, worked so hard to discredit and dismiss alternative theories? Much like the controversy surrounding Egypt's pyramids, independent researchers have been denied permits, had their findings buried, and their credibility attacked. Could it be that the true origins of the star platform and the civilization that built it are far older and far more advanced than history allows? As we dig into forgotten legends, precision engineering, and the absence of soot where light should have burned, one thing becomes clear. This isn't just a story about stone, it's a challenge to everything we thought we knew about the past. Because sometimes the real builders don't leave their names, they leave mysteries that defy explanation. Desert rain secrets. The erosion patterns surrounding the ancient structure tell a story that doesn't match the official timeline. These grooves aren't sharp or wind-carved, they're smooth, rounded, and undulating, signs of heavy rainfall and sustained water flow. Here's the mystery. The last time this region of the Arabian desert experienced enough rainfall to cause such erosion was over 10,000 years ago, right at the end of the last ice age. Even if the damage was repaired much later, one critical question remains: when was there water in this desert? The answer is astonishing. At the close of the Ice Age, around 10,800 BC, this unexpected clue suggests the monolithic structure may have been built by an ancient civilization long before recorded history began. Dr. Elias Rahman, a geologist from Istanbul University, theorized that a long-forgotten culture once thrived here, when the now barren land was a lush savanna teeming with life. He believes they carved this giant monument, possibly a lion, a deity, or something far older, into the exposed limestone ridge. Over centuries, changing climates brought torrential rains, slowly eroding the statue and reshaping it into the form we see today. When the rains ceased, sandstorms buried the monument up to its neck, preserving the lower body and its telltale signs of water erosion. It wasn't until millennia later that a later dynasty, perhaps the Nabateans or even early Persians, discovered the head, reshaped it, and claimed it as their own. They didn't build it, they inherited it. Yet despite compelling geological evidence, mainstream archaeology still refuses to seriously consider this timeline. The scientific community, especially traditional historians, have failed to provide a convincing counter-argument. Why? Because this theory challenges everything they thought they knew. And when solid evidence threatens fragile assumptions, the safest response, for some, is silence. But silence won't erase the questions. And this mystery, it's not going away. Secrets beneath stone. This raises a critical question. Why the resistance to exploring these alternative possibilities? Is the hesitation truly about protecting a nation's heritage, or is it something far more personal? Could it be about preserving reputations, defending outdated academic traditions, or guarding fragile national pride? Because if there truly is nothing extraordinary buried beneath the desert's surface, then why the relentless secrecy? Why the refusal to dig deeper? Perhaps it's not just sand that covers these ancient foundations, but suppressed truths. What if there really is forgotten technology sealed within these ruins? Machinery, knowledge, or evidence that could rewrite everything we thought we knew about the ancient world. Something so revolutionary, so out of place, that it threatens to collapse the very narrative generations of scholars have built their careers upon. As we continue to peel back the layers of silence and suppression, one thing becomes clear: the truth may be far stranger and far more powerful than anyone is prepared to admit. And once uncovered, it won't just change the story of a monument, it might change the story of humanity itself. Buried truths await. The mystery surrounding who really built the fortress of Kashkari becomes even more intriguing when we venture inside, because what lies beneath the surface is far stranger than you'd expect. Usually we're told about just a few rooms, 2 subterranean vaults, and a collapsed observatory. But recent discoveries have revealed something astonishing. The fortress might be hiding far more than historians ever realized. Back in 2004, a Turkish structural engineer named Kemal Aydin made headlines by investigating a sealed corridor deep beneath the ruins. One scholars believed led nowhere. Using a fiber optic camera snaked through a small breach in the collapsed masonry, he uncovered something extraordinary: a perfectly carved basalt doorway embedded within the earth, fitted with 2 strange metallic prongs. Nicknamed Aiden's Gate, the discovery immediately captured global attention. And here's why this matters. Metal fixtures of this design had never been found anywhere else in the region's ancient architecture, suggesting this door guarded something significant. But just as Kamal and his team prepared to continue, local authorities abruptly shut down the excavation without explanation. Nearly a decade later, in 2015, a new team sponsored by an international preservation group resumed the work. They drilled a narrow probe through Aiden's Gate, only to discover another polished black stone slab directly behind it. That second door remains sealed and untouched to this day. Despite global interest, further access continues to be blocked by government officials, citing vague preservation risks. This resistance, especially at such a pivotal moment, raises serious questions. Are authorities truly worried about conservation, or is there something deeper they prefer to keep hidden? Then, in 2021, the mystery deepened again. Scientists using muon tomography, an advanced scanning technique, detected an immense hidden void beneath the Western Tower, a massive hollow space previously undocumented by any record, with no visible entry and no clue as to its purpose. Archaeologists called it one of the most significant architectural finds in decades, but once again, permission to explore it has been denied. Meanwhile, physical evidence within the fortress continues to challenge mainstream beliefs. Researcher Dr. Afshin Maleki identified strange boreholes and machining lines on basalt blocks that appear to show high-speed drilling, something impossible with tools from the fortress's supposed era. Basalt is incredibly dense, and primitive tools would wear down almost instantly. So how did the ancient builders shape it with such impossible precision? These clues, sealed doors, forbidden chambers, mechanical markings, all suggest a startling possibility that the fortress of Kashkari was either built using advanced technology or inherited from a lost civilization far older than we imagine. Yet despite mounting evidence, traditional archaeologists remain cautious, some even dismissive, unwilling to challenge the accepted timeline. Maybe it's about protecting heritage, or maybe it's about protecting long-standing assumptions. Either way, critical questions remain. What lies beyond Aiden's gate? What is the true function of the buried void? And could unlocking these secrets finally reveal not just who built the fortress, but how and why it was hidden for so long? Gatekeeper of history. Deep within the mysteries of ancient Egypt, one man stands firmly between us and the full truth. Dr. Zahi Hawass, the figure whose authority has shaped not only what we're allowed to know about Egypt's past, but more importantly, what we're not. For decades, Hawass has dominated Egyptian archaeology. Charismatic, fiercely nationalistic, and highly influential, he's held powerful positions such as Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities and Minister of Antiquities, roles that granted him unparalleled control over excavations, research access, and which findings reach the public eye. But behind this public image of cultural stewardship lies a much darker reality, a tightly regulated system that has consistently blocked independent research and silenced alternative theories. Supporters argue he's simply protecting Egypt's heritage from sensationalism. But what if there's more to it than that? Could his strict policies be designed to preserve fragile academic traditions, reputations, or even national pride? By determining who is allowed to dig, what they can study, and what gets disclosed, Hawass has positioned himself as the ultimate gatekeeper of Egyptian history, potentially suppressing discoveries that could rewrite everything we thought we knew about the ancient world. While his legacy includes boosting Egypt's global image, it may have come at a cost. His gatekeeping might have delayed, or even prevented, the revelation of critical truths buried beneath the sand. This leads to a troubling question. Is Hawass genuinely protecting cultural heritage, or is he safeguarding secrets that challenge the conventional timeline of civilization itself? Until full transparency is embraced in Egyptian archaeology, the doors to our true past may remain firmly closed. Truth beneath sand. Looking back at everything we've uncovered, the strange absence of inscriptions clearly linking any ruler to the fortress of Kashkari, the impossibly precise stonework far beyond the capabilities of primitive tools, the sealed corridors left untouched for decades, and the mounting evidence that points to a much older origin, we're left with serious questions about the official story we've always been told. These remarkable findings suggest that the original builders may have possessed knowledge and techniques far more advanced than modern history gives them credit for. While it may sound unconventional at first, each new discovery makes this possibility harder to ignore. Perhaps the civilization we know today simply inherited and repurposed what an even older culture once created. Or maybe ancient engineers knew things we've long forgotten, techniques erased by time and tragedy. But if these theories hold such potential, why do mainstream historians still resist them? One reason may be the immense implications of accepting such a shift. It would mean rewriting textbooks, museum exhibits, and the national identity many countries have built around accepted timelines. For nations like Tehran, suggesting their famed monument might not be entirely their own creation touches deeply on issues of pride and legacy. By avoiding further investigation into these sealed doors, unexamined voids, and possible ancient technologies, archaeology might unintentionally be preserving a comfortable narrative at the expense of historical truth. But imagine for a moment if undeniable evidence was uncovered, proof of a forgotten, advanced civilization lost to time. That wouldn't just change one country's past. It could transform everything we believe about human history, evolution, and our ancestors' true capabilities. As we stand on the edge of these compelling mysteries, we must ask, will future researchers have the courage to push forward and unlock what lies within? Or will the secrets remain buried, waiting for a new generation bold enough to uncover the truth? For more forgotten legacies and hidden histories, be sure to explore our other videos. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to join us on this incredible journey into the past. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious.